Hello, and welcome to Prentice's Echoes. If you've spent any time online, you've seen the stunning videos of Nara Smith, the perfect kitchen, the elaborate homemade meals, the serene home life. She has become the face of a movement, often tagged with a loaded word, Tradwife. This label, short for traditional wife, is complex. It often carries political, conservative, and sometimes even anti-feminist undertones. But what happens when the public assigns a label that simplifies, or even misrepresents, your personal choice? Today, we're diving into an exclusive look at the real story behind the aesthetically perfect kitchen. This is about more than just cooking, it's about intentional living, the choice to prioritize certain skills, and how to reclaim your narrative when the world tries to define you. It's time to look beyond the surface. Step 1. Deconstructing the Tradwife label. The problem: the rigidity of external definitions. The public often views Nara Smith's content through a specific, rigid social lens. The assumption is that her choice to be home and practice traditional skills is a political statement about the role of women. But when we look closely at the content, we see something else: mastery and skill. The action, intentionally, as empowerment. Nara Smith's perspective flips the script. Prioritizing the home doesn't equal being subservient to a rigid ideology. It's an act of intentional empowerment. Concrete action. Skill acquisition is power. She chooses to focus on skills: making bread from scratch, complex pastries, sewing. These aren't passive acts, they are active pursuits of mastery. The luxury of choice. Her ability to choose this lifestyle is a modern luxury, often afforded by her successful digital presence. She is not financially dependent on her husband to be a creative success. She uses her choice to fuel her career. The lesson here is simple: don't let rigid labels simplify your complex choices. The choice to be home, or to focus on traditional skills, can be an act of agency, a deliberate choice to reject corporate burnout and prioritize a tangible, grounding life. Step 2. The modernity of traditional skills. The problem: viewing traditional skills as backward. In modern society, we often outsource everything: food, care, education. This can lead to a sense of disconnect and a loss of practical competence. The criticism often aimed at the Tradwife concept misses the value of competence itself. The action, the competence buffer. Smith's work highlights that skills like cooking and homemaking provide a competence buffer against the chaos of the modern world. Concrete action, grounded in tangibles. When life feels overwhelming, career stress, digital overload, the ability to focus on a tangible task, kneading dough, sewing a stitch, is incredibly grounding. It is mental health practiced through action. Sovereignty over food. Making food from scratch isn't just aesthetic, it's about food sovereignty. It reduces reliance on external systems, creating a deep sense of security and health for the family. The true value is not the tradition, but the autonomy gained from knowing how to sustain yourself and your family with your own two hands. Step 3. Reclaiming the narrative. The problem: letting the observer define the intention. In the age of social media, your public perception is often owned by the commenter, not the creator. If you post a healthy meal, someone calls you judgmental. If you post a long day at work, someone calls you burnt out. The ultimate lesson from the Nara Smith phenomenon is about narrative sovereignty. The action, the boundaries of intention. You must establish a boundary between your internal intention and the external interpretation. Concrete action, define your why. Be ruthlessly clear on why you are making your choices. I cook from scratch because it brings me joy and reduces processed foods, not to adhere to a social prescription. Your why is your armor against external criticism. Ignore the label, honor the action. Don't waste energy arguing the definition of Tradwife or any other label. Instead, double down on the actions that bring you purpose and energy. Your consistent, intentional life will speak louder than any label. Your life is a canvas, and you are the only one with the brush. Let your actions define your life, not the keywords others assign to your story. The story behind the Tradwife label is the story of intentionally. It's about choosing a life path that prioritizes skill, health, and a tangible connection to your world, regardless of how others categorize it. Challenge the label. See traditional skills as empowerment, not dogma. Value competence. Build a competence buffer against modern chaos. Own your story. Protect your intention from external interpretation. Your choice of life is valid, as long as it is your authentic choice. If this discussion helps you reflect on the labels in your own life, please like this video. Share it with someone who is constantly misjudged by their social media feed. Subscribe to Prentice's Echoes for continuous wisdom. Tell me in the comments, what is one choice in your life that people often misunderstand? See you soon.